I firmly believe that if you want to excel in the music business or in music in general, you've got to have all the information that you can have. You've got to have all the help that you can have. You've got to find and listen to people who are not just better than you, but just have more experience than you. People who you can trust because you see them talking every day to you. You see them giving you information. We used to get this information through things like Billboard magazine or Mix magazine or Keyboard or Electronic Musician. I got every one of those for years as soon as they came out. That was the newest way to get information in our business. If you wanted to find out how to do something, you figured it out from a perspective of I got to find out everything I can find out. I want to be as good as everybody. But today we can keep up with all those magazines online. They're probably updated quicker than they ever were when they were published and put on stands at bookstores. And even then, it's probably old info. We need current info every week, brought to us weekly by people that we trust and even sometimes daily, so that we can understand what's going on in this industry of music, as far as not just as in music making, but in music business and all these things. We need to understand what's going on in this, and we need to watch people we can trust. And that's what I try to do with my channel. And to be very, very truthful, I started this channel to just add my voice to the people I was already following on YouTube. I was absorbing these people on the weekly. I mean, I'm sure you do the same thing. And it was very important to my development in knowing things that I wanted to know. And so what's funny is some of these people are now not only friends, but they're colleagues. And so I owe a lot to some of them for the growth of this channel, and I'm going to pay that back today. And some I just sit, just like you, like a fly on the wall, and just watch what they say and what they do, and don't ever even try to get in touch with them, just completely enraptured by what they're bringing to me every day. And I know if you are a person who is watching this channel right now, you are probably watching to see what I'm going to say. And I do the same thing with every channel that I watch. So here is my version of the channels you should be watching. A friend of mine, Dave Croft, did this a few months ago, and I thought it was really neat. And he mentioned some I probably won't mention, but I'm going to mention some he didn't mention. And I think this is just, we all have different valuable info that we have, just that comes from from our brains. So I think it's important to share this information. So let's get moving on with this. I've got some friends here in the chat, so to make sure I'm not missing anything, they are going to, and chat people, you're 12 of you now. I depend on you to be telling me if I'm missing anything. Now, you might wait till I get towards the end of the list, because some of them I'm holding towards the end. But yeah, let's see who my co-hosts are today. Announce yourself if you are here and co-hosting with me in the chat today. We've got the Mix Club, Rhett. Good to see you here today. Arco is here as usual. If anyone else is here, let me know that you're here and where you're from. Love to shout you out and tell us how you're doing today. Really excited about moving forward with this interview while I get some more people in the chat who are lurking but not talking. Let me just remind you, if you are new to this channel, and I know a lot of you who find these videos are new to this channel, hi, I'm Eric. Welcome to Make Music Income. Glad to have you here. Come on in. The water's fine. Subscribe. Be part of things here on Make Music Income, because we are working every week to bring you new information like this. And I've got tons of cool stuff coming up as soon as I can either do a live to talk about it or actually shoot a video and edit it. Got a new podcast video coming up on Monday with Stevie B talking about short media and how that helps our music career. So excited to talk about that. I also have some free stuff. If you are new and you are just finding this channel, I got some free stuff for you. I got the 50 Ways to Make Music Income ebook. Quick read, might help you figure out some ways to make music income. I got the Pond 5 upload video course, which is if you're thinking about getting into stock music licensing, I know a lot of you are. Pond 5 is a great place to start. As I've said before here on this channel, I have a whole video about it. And I just think it's a great place to start, and this video course is free and it shows you how to upload to it. I also have a free research paper that I wrote in my Master's of Composition called The Ubiquitous Style, Form, and Instrumentation of Corporate Stock Music. How's that for a tongue twister? But if you want to read an official researched paper about stock music and stock music licensing, this is it. I don't know how many other people are fool enough to do something like this, but I thought it would be fun. And then I've got my ebook, and I'm really excited about my ebook that I've got out, and I'm working hard on a new one, The Stock Market: Where, Why, and How to Submit Your Music to Stock Music Licensing. You can find that at makemusicincome.com/stock market. I have all the chapter titles and descriptions about what the book is about at the website, so you can just check that out there. Yeah, and I'm getting ready to make a video about the ebook because I just don't think I announced it very well. I kind of just slipped it in another video, and then I've just been talking about it from time to time. So I'm going to make a video that kind of talks about what the book does, and it's about due for an update already. And so everybody will get free updates who buys it for sure. And then I'm excited also to talk about consulting. Consulting is back, coaching. If you are interested in doing some one-on-one coaching, I started to offer it at first, but I've brought the price down now, and so you can check that out at the site. And interested in talking with you about your music career, if you're interested in figuring out what roads to take, I've been there. I'm still there. And so I can give you personal information on what you're doing through my coaching. So just go to makemusicincome.com. You will find the information there to get in touch with me about which coaching is right for you, half hour, whatever. The prices are pretty, I think they're pretty fair. And so make sure you go to the site just to see everything that we have, and all the free stuff is there, all that kind of stuff. A few more things. Make sure, everybody, do you know our Discord is getting up to 700 people? We are just, that thing is full, and there are new people coming in every day by the dozens. And we are talking, and you can get free feedback there. There are so many things that you can get by being part of our Discord. And by the way, our Discord is free. Free. Yeah. You ever heard this? It's called free. And then make sure you subscribe to the Make Music Income podcast with my friend Stevie B. We'll be talking about Stevie B here in just a moment. But Stevie and I have been doing this podcast. We are up to, this is episode 40, I think we're going to hit on Monday. And so we are heading towards 50 episodes and having a good time. We're going to talk about short media. Does short media help your music? I have some thoughts. He has some thoughts. We just both released a short recently and put it on our channels. And so we don't talk about that in there, but maybe in the chat we'll talk about some of the things that happen with that. But anyway, so all right, let's get back to our chat. Some people have announced stuff. Linda Britton is here. Hi, Linda. Thanks for being here. Signature is here. Thanks for being here. Sound in the City. Good morning to you as well. Brian Aitken from Dallas-Fort Worth. Welcome from Texas. Marl Music, also Dallas-Fort Worth. Wow, big Texas contingent today. Andreas hello from Germany. Testing this chat thing from my phone while watching the stream on my Xbox. That's different. Sound in the City says, oh, this is a Restream. Oh, no, it is live. Restream is just the software that I use to stream with. And I just haven't bought the package to get rid of the the little logo up here, but that's okay. It's a good technology, and as long as it works, as long as my picture looks good and my sound looks good, then it is a super technology. Yes, Arco is seeing a bunch of new faces here too, and I am too. Um, and Andreas is in the stream. Restream is just the app Eric is using, right? Um, yeah, here's the thing with Discord. Oh, Rhett, you don't need Discord. You do a great job with your and as a matter of fact, Rhett, if I don't remember to put your link in the chat, and I will show the Mix Club as well in this once we get to that area of production type people and things like that. But Rhett has a really great channel, and I kind of jumped in there the other day uh, and and talked with Rhett in Panna, Illinois. Where is Panna, Illinois? Um, so also you can link to the YouTube chat to the Discord with Restream below, by the way. So, okay. Well, thanks everybody for being here. I want to move kind of back into what I want to talk about today, and that is the music channels that you need to be watching. Now, this is going to be kind of an experiment because I'm going to have to show these in a bit of a different way. I'm going to have to kind of uh, go to the sites myself. And the problem with going to the sites here, I tried to get it all ready for you, as I told you up front. I tried to get all the sites all ready and have them just ready to go. But the problem with that is that my whole deal, my whole computer just completely failed. So I had to say, okay, well, guess I'm just going to have to show these off one at a time. And so first what I want to do is I want to go to what I call the People I/O. And the first person that I have to talk about is somebody who I have been friends with for a long time. You know what? This might be easier if I just use another browser. I don't use comment in below if you use any other kind of browser but Chrome. I don't. I don't use Safari. I do use Firefox sometimes. It's crazy not being on a kind of a program like Safari, since I'm such a Mac guy, but I just never really have. And so I'm going to kind of show you these sites on another site. I don't want a lot of ads to come up, and so let me go find my friends here. I want to log in, and so that way you guys won't see commercials, because you don't want to see commercials. In the meantime, if you've got favorite channels, I'd like to see them in the chat, because we're going to talk about everybody's favorite channels today, and would love to see what you guys think of these channels, what your favorite channels are, and I'll show you mine, you show me yours, so to speak. That wasn't very nice. So yeah, I've got all my subscriptions right here, and I can just go to the people I want to show you. And the very first person I want to go to is somebody that I owe. And you might say, why do you owe them? And I say, well, the reason I owe them is because this person really completely helped my channel grow from the start. I had 50 subscribers, 50. I had been toiling around for a couple months on my site. And so I created, and you've heard me tell this story probably before, but I created a site called Make Music Income, and I created a video called 0600 in stock licensing. And in that video, I called out stock music licensing. And that's actually not the first channel I want to show you today. because the first channel I want to show you today is my friend Daniel Carrizales. And I have to say that without Daniel Carrizales and his shout out on his channel, it would have been a much longer climb. Now, climb up the YouTube ladder to try to get this site kind of going down the line. Now, this is not the channel that he shouted me out on. The channel he shouted me out on was his stock music licensing channel. We'll get to that in just a minute. But this is Daniel's current channel, and he is launching kind of a new business and mindset and lifestyle channel. And so he could really use the love, folks. If you are someone who loves Daniel, I can't imagine that anybody on here, and I'm going to look at the chat, but I can't imagine that anybody in here knows, doesn't know about Daniel and stock music licensing. But if you don't, I'm going to show, this is the first of his channels I want to show off. And I just want to show off this channel just so that you can know about it. And I'll be putting all the links after I get done with this video in. It's going to be a bit of a work to put all the links. A lot of the links I keep in all my videos down below. So people like Stevie B, stock music licensing, sync my music, all that kind of stuff. They've been in there from day one in every single video I've done. But Daniel, I know, is trying to launch his channel. He's got some great inspirational videos on here. So make sure that you watch Daniel. Go to his personal site, not just stock music licensing, but his personal YouTube, and give him some love and tell it was from me, and just give him a big kiss for me and tell him that I love him and I appreciate his help starting my channel. So that was the first one that I really kind of had to do. And that's just, it's, you know, sometimes you just got to pay it back. You know, sometimes you just got to give back some love. And that's what I had to do in this case. So that's the first person that I need to really shout out, and the first site that I really wanted to show you. The second one is someone who I just saw come into the chat. Let's see. We got greetings from different places. The dead center of Illinois is what Rhett said he is from. The armpit of America, maybe. And here is Stevie B from the Production Music Academy. Hey, you. Greeting from, I think that's supposed to be heyo. Greeting from Golden, British Columbia. I thought you were in Vancouver. What is Golden? It's Golden must be some suburb of Vancouver or whatever. So yeah, Fireflux is too slow for me, Arco says. Oh well. So yeah, let's move now to the next site that I really got to show off. And my friends, it's got to be my friend, my podcast partner, the one, the only, the golden boy from Golden, British Columbia, Mr. Stevie B himself. If you are not following Stevie's Production Music Academy, if you're not in Stevie's Production Music Academy, you should get in it. Steve was my first champion. Do you know, when I first started my channel, the very first day, I put my very first video up. At the end of the day, I had like 13 views or 20 views or something like that. And I had 2 subscribers, me and Stevie B. And I just have to say that, again, without Steve, I'm not sure where this channel, where this brand would be. It's been a pleasure to work with Steve on all the time, and we started a podcast together, and this is a site that you need to be watching. Oh, he's here. He is there for a wedding. Okay, cool. You do a lot of weddings. Oh, that's right. You got a gig tonight. So yeah, go to Stevie B's Production Music Academy. He did a great video about music libraries the other day, yesterday, I believe, or the day before, and a really good one, but just talks about, Steve is one of the few people who really gets in there and shows you how he's making these things and making a lot of his videos and showing off his production chops. And besides business things, he'll teach you about and our podcast that we kind of co-host on our channels. Steve has a lot of great things for you to learn production wise, and you just need to follow that. And so Arco says, till now it's in the sequence in which I found this channel. Yeah. These are the people I was watching before. And so I have some other people that I kind of want to give some credit to, but these two guys, Daniel and Stevie, are certainly the two people who really helped me start this channel. And without them, I'm not sure it would have been as successful as it is. Okay, so let's go now to the next kind of section I want to talk about. And the next section is the guys in sync licensing that I want to talk about. And again, I don't think any of these are going to be surprises to any of you. The first one I want to go to is another person who super helped my channel. But more than that, I've been part of his academy. I've interviewed him, and he, more than anything, this guy has been the guy who, oh, thanks, Arco. Arco says, third would be make music income for me. Well, okay, I'll take third behind Daniel and Steve. That's fine. But the next one I really want to show off and feature is, of course, my friend Jesse and Sync My Music. I think this site is definitely and still think, this is the first place you should be going for information about sync licensing. If you are into sync licensing, this is the first place you should be, no doubt. He is the realest guy you're going to know. He's going to give you the real skinny on what it's like to be in this. He is not going to sugarcoat anything. I don't even think Jesse eats sugar, to be honest with you. But I love him, and I really appreciate his help in pushing my channel. And so everyone needs to make sure that you are absolutely subscribed to Sync My Music, because if you're interested at all in production music, sync licensing music, he has got videos going back for a decade maybe, or at least 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. This guy has been in this business longer than most of us, and he is the person to talk to and a person to get involved with. Got a great academy, got some great services, a great ebook that lists all the sync licensing libraries. So need to check Mr. Jesse out on his channel, Sync My Music. Okay, so let's move on to the next person who I want to really feature on Sync My Music, on Sync in general. And that is somebody who I've met recently, and we've become kind of friends, and we actually live next to each other. Well, not next to each other. We live close to each other, and we get lunch together all the time, and we talk, and we share information, and we just giggle a lot and be silly. And that is my friend Dave Croft of 52 Qs. He is building a great community over there, really doing a great job building an interactive production music community, as he talks about it. And they really are more community based. You're going to feel like you are in a community. You know, you've got a lot of communities. We have Daniel's community for stock music licensing. We have Stevie B's Production Music Academy. We have Dave Croft's Production Music Academy, Production Music Community. We have Sync My Music's Sync Academy. So a lot of academies going on there. But you know what? You can go to different schools. You don't have to just go to one school and get a degree. You can get a degree from all the schools. Learn from lots of good professors. I think both Steve and Dave do a really good job teaching production in quite different ways. You're going to have to go and find out which flavor is right for you. They both use similar systems, just like Jesse does in their communities. But you're going to find which one is comfortable for you. And so you need to just go and check out the soothing tones of Dave Croft as he talks, and sometimes, no, I'm not frozen, pauses for a long time. So hope he doesn't get mad at me for that, but we've talked about that at lunch. So we are going back to lunch very soon, or maybe not after that comment. I don't know. So that is my friend Dave, and everybody needs to be watching Dave Croft and 52 Qs. And then my last person in sync that I want to talk about is someone who I've met recently and interviewed on this channel and just had a great time with. And again, probably not a surprise to anybody who has watched this kind of stuff before. But that is my friend Anthony Clint Jr. of Clint Music. And Anthony is a fun guy. We had a great conversation about um, yes, thank you. I make a great Dave imposter. Well, I work hard at it. But I actually have a video. There's another video that I was going to do about Dave. Oh, I have a response video to one of Dave's recent videos that I'm going to do. So my Dave impression may come back at some point. But Clint Music is the guy you need to be listening to if you are a beat maker, if you are someone who is in the space of anything from hip hop to rap to pop to rock. I mean, I kind of feel like Anthony really works best in and relates to that hip hop culture probably more than a lot of us, just because he's in it and that's the kind of music he makes personally. He makes a lot of beats. We actually had a big talk about what is the difference between beats and cues, or beats and tracks. And so you can see that in our interview, but we do talk about that. And I think it was a good conversation to have because it was confusing to me when you hear about beats a lot. And I think beats can also be thought of as loops and things like that. But he correctly and succinctly helped me come up with that fact that a beat is just a track. And so that kind of, if you are a person who lives in that world, in the beat making world, maybe in the beat stars world, or but also you are really interested in getting your music into TV and film, this is the guy to talk to. This is the guy to listen to. He has, as you can see right on that picture right there, he's got beat and song reviews every week. He's got lives going on. Music is my, what is it? I can't even see it. Music is my business podcast, live Q&A he does every week. This guy is every week doing 2 live review and Q&A podcasts. So man, that just shows you the dedication of somebody who is going to do that kind of work for people. So yeah, go check out Clint Music for sure. All right, I better get going or I will not hit all these inside an hour. So let's move on to the next person on my list. And we start to get now into, let's talk about stock here for just a second, stock music licensing. And of course, one of the channels that you might be aware of that does talk about stock music licensing a little bit is, well, I don't know if you've heard of this channel, but it's a guy who, well, I think I really like him a lot. And, you can see his channel every week. As a matter of fact, you're probably watching it right now. That's me. Make music income. I guess I was going to show a picture of my site, but I don't know if it's coming up here. Because my computer is still struggling. It's like, you're already on it. So I guess you can't see it, but here is my website. And again, if you want to talk about any of this kind of stuff, I do talk a lot about stuff, the stock market, ebook, obviously. I don't feel like I really talk full time about stock, but it's something that I touch on as one of the ways you can make music income. But the real champion, again, in this space, the person who, and the site that really got my site going, and that, of course, is back to my friend, and I've messed up my thing here. Let's get back to YouTube. Is my friend Daniel Carrizales, and we're going to look at stock music licensing. And again, this is probably one of the places all of you, we showed Daniel's site a minute ago, but now I want to show his his actual stock music site. And so here we go. Stock music licensing, stock music inspiration and lifestyle. And still every week, Daniel is posting new things on here. Really quick and easy licensing tips. He's been doing a lot of those lately, 1 minute stock music tips. But this channel goes way back, and he shows his second channel here. But yeah, absolutely, if you want to find out anything about stock music, you need to be going back through all of Daniel's videos on stock music licensing for sure. So that is one. And then, of course, the other one is one we've already talked about, and that is, Steve EB also talks a lot about stock, just like I do. I think he would rather not, to be honest with you, but he does, and so do I, and we talk about it sometimes grudgingly on our podcast. But yeah, absolutely another site that has some information because because of his success at Motion Array and Artlist, which are by definition stock music libraries. He's a champion on there. I am catching, by the way, a lot of these chat comments, and we will get back to those here in just a moment as soon as I finish really talking about who I want to talk about here, because it's my show, darn it. Okay, all right, now I want to talk about a different category here, and this category is a little bit more in the, why isn't this guy on my list here? Well, I'll just have to search for him. This category is a little different for me because this is not about stock music, sync licensing, or anything like that. It's completely about just music, a music person, and music people who talk about, I guess, just inspiration. I call this music inspiration. And the first person I want to share in that is a guy I just found recently, but I know that a lot of you have seen before, and that is Rick Beato. And Rick is a super interesting guy that has been a music producer for a long time, and now just really talks on everything. And look at that, 3 million subscribers. This dude is killing it. And Rick, if you're watching, I would love to interview you about how you make music income. I definitely want to talk to you about how you make music income and how you made the transition from producer to YouTube, full-time YouTuber. I would imagine you're full-time YouTube. But Rick has a lot of interesting thoughts on different things, from talking about songs that he loves, from talking about solos and bass things and drum things and what makes songs great. He has a whole playlist on that. A lot of great interviews. Sting, Pat Metheny, Peter Frampton, Nirvana. I mean, he talks with a lot of people about a lot of things. So super interesting to watch some of his videos, including this one here, where he talks about his son and his ability to have perfect pitch. I show that in my class a lot of times. And so definitely check out Rick Beato. Another one that I've just found recently that I've started watching, another person that I'd not heard of before, but another person who is kind of blown up in this space. And some of you have heard of her, and her name is Mary Spender. And I think that she has some really interesting things to say about music, about music things. And so you should definitely take a look at Mary Spender's site. Very interesting comments on life as a musician, as a guitarist. She talks a lot about guitars. That's another one of her main things. But just a lot of interesting things that I'd like everybody to, at least this is what I watch. Again, these are the things that I watch in order to keep myself motivated, in order to keep myself in the know. We're going to get away from some of the channels that I came up with and more into some of these channels that I'm just getting inspired by right now. And so to me, this is important. Okay, let's see who next is on the list. We've got another guy who I find just utterly fascinating, and I'm sure all of you do. And again, probably not a surprise to this group. as far as people who are watching this kind of space. But just in case you are not familiar with this guy, you need to be, and that is Christian Henson. Christian Henson is one of the owners or one of the people that brought up Spitfire Audio. And so I watch a lot of his videos. Again, great inspiration a lot of times. Um, just some excellent things to watch and learn from. Kind of the other side of Spitfire Audio, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, but certainly has a lot of inspirational videos. And so you should definitely check out Christian Henson. And some of the things he has to say hit right home for us composers and producers and people trying to get into the space of any kind of things. So, yeah, that is somebody that you really need to be paying attention to. And then next on the list, now I want to, this is kind of a new section. I call this music hacking. And I think some of you are going to know who I'm talking about here, but certainly the first one for me is this guy. And we've actually had an interview on this channel, and he actually lives where I used to live up in Nashville. And that is Tom Dupree III. And Tom is a guy who just has been in the music business for a long time, but started a channel a few years ago and started to talk about targeting his music to Facebook ads to get people over to his Spotify. And so he's really kind of one of the experts on this particular thing. Also, one of the things I love about Tom and I love about people like this, and these next two guys actually that I'm going to talk about, they both really make music. In other words, they're not just talking about music and they have a YouTube channel that gets lots of views. They make music. And Steve and I talk about this a lot on our podcast. We both feel like it's important for us not only to be talking about music business, but also be doing music business. The school where I work, they prefer that you are in the business while you teach. And I firmly believe this. I think you need to be in the business of what you teach. You need to be working it every day. And so that is certainly someone I need to go to. And then, of course, the other person that you are probably thinking of right now and that I would suggest you go to, you'll probably beat me to it in the chat, but is another guy who I would love to interview, haven't had a chance to interview yet, but that is Andrew Southworth. And Andrew also does a lot of marketing information about how he gets views and plays on Spotify and playlist pushing and stuff like that and social media posting. I mean, he does a lot of music marketing and business stuff. So if you're not watching Andrew and Tom, you need to get those guys on your subscription on YouTube and be watching them on a weekly basis so that you can take that information, do with it what you will, but you're not going to find any better information that people are focused on trying to help people get stuff out. And again, similar to him, and I'll just call up his other channel here, at the same time, he's got his own music and he is building a music channel. You can see all his albums, his music videos for each of his songs. So again, like I said, I love when people are doing what they're talking about. To me, that just makes sense. And so I love it. And I wouldn't be doing this channel if I wasn't also doing music at the same time. So I really would suggest that you guys check out Andrew Southworth and Tom Dupree III, because I think both of them are people that I would want you to listen to. Now, this next one is kind of a one-off. I don't have a lot of gear channels. I follow a lot of people who do music gear, and but this guy I do, and he continues just to have quality information every week. You might have heard of him already, but his name is Sanjay C, and he has a great channel that is really based on how just every week he's giving away free plugins. He is telling you what's new with all the equipment in our industry, from computer things and plugins to hardware to all these kinds of things. In the chat, I see people are tossing in tons of sites, and so I'm going to have to go now and check out all these sites. So maybe you're teaching me today as well. I may have to do a second one of these with these new channels, but again, these are channels that I watch, and I'm sure you have lots that you watch. But Sanjay C is great because he did a great video about the Seaboard Rise, and I'm a keyboard player, and so is he. So I probably like to watch a lot of that stuff. But he has a lot of home studio tips. He goes to all the events. Every single video, he's got freebies, free plugins, and discounted plugins. So absolutely take a look at Sanjay C, because you might just learn something that might just be new stuff for you to plug in and start using. Okay, so next on my list is some music companies, and I've already talked about one of them, and I'm right here by it. So let's just go to it right now, and that is Spitfire Audio. I love Spitfire Audio. I cannot buy enough stuff from Spitfire Audio. I know you're probably the same. I know you are probably, if you love strings, some people might like other kinds of things besides Spitfire, but I tell you, they are just a great company. And not only what they sell, but all the stuff they do for free and from musicians. You can tell Christian Hensen's heart, and yeah, Arco, I'm going to get to those here in just a second. Oh, good. Linda says she came across Sanjay channels today. Yeah, he's really good and seems super nice. And so, but Spitfire is just some of the things they put out. They're free, like this free vintage drums and labs. Labs alone, I should probably just go ahead while I'm here and talk about all the Spitfire things right in one thing. Labs is a way, they've started a new Labs channel, but not a lot of videos here yet, but you should get Spitfire Labs, because Spitfire Labs is free, and I think different people have done, I think Stevie B and different people have done some things about that. But yeah, all the little cheap $30 things they have, besides the bigger, wonderful libraries they have, love Spitfire Audio. And while I'm here, let's just go ahead and give my boy Stephen Talamy a little bit of a shout out. I had Stephen on the show recently, and Stephen is kind of tangentially linked over there to them as well. And then that leads us to one more that I want to talk about, and that is Piano Book. And if you're not watching Piano Book, folks, you need, and you are a person who deals with any samples or likes free sounds, again, another place to get a lot of free sounds. Every week they are dropping 5 new sounds or more. I mean, it is amazing, and they're building it to an incredible community. So Piano Book is certainly a place that you need to be, you certainly need to be looking at. So that's the Spitfire group. I also have a few other places that I super love, including another company that I get a lot of my samples from, and maybe you do too, and that is Native Instruments. And Native Instruments is, I have their entire complete package, so I will be updating to complete 14 when it comes out for sure. And yeah, I love having that. You can see right here in the background, I have the complete 61 keyboard from Native Instruments, and I'm going to be doing a review on my keyboard review channel soon about this. But I love it. It lets me control all the complete sounds and a lot of other sounds right from the keyboard. It's like magic. And so it feels like playing a synthesizer once again, because you can dial up the sounds right on the controller. So really love working with Native Instruments stuff. And then the last one I have in my music companies is one I just kind of refound the other night, and I love them because I love their plugins, and I use them all the time. And that is a company called Spectrasonics. Now, you may or may not know about Spectrasonics, but Spectrasonics are the makers of Omnisphere, of Keyscape, um, of Trillion, the bass plugin program, of what am I saying? Stylus RMX. I use all of those. And they just came out with a really cool video the other night where he talks about flow capture, which is this new way to capture what you're working on, and it saves it as a wave and a MIDI file and all the settings of what instrument you're working on, Keyscape or whatever, or Omnisphere, and you can just port it right over to your DAW. It's like magic. Really cool. Always inventing, always coming up with new things. Spectrasonics, one of my favorites. So let's take a breather there because it's getting late in the hour, folks. So any of these you're following, I hope you're following some of these channels. And again, these channels are channels to me that are putting out not just channels that I can find out about their stuff. Not about yeah. Eric Persing of Spectrasonics is absolutely a stud. Andrews, absolutely agree with that. Fantastic player, yeah. Great company. Was at Roland before that, and just super. I enjoyed all his Roland work as well back in the day. But these are sites that not only show off their goods, but they give you information. And they've got to be sites for me that really give me information that really help me grow. So let's move over to just a very few more things I have. I have about 3 more little things here. First, artists. These are people who are not artists necessarily, but they are artists. They talk to artists and they bring great information. So if there's an artist side to you, if you are trying to put out music and do the artist thing as well as be just a composer and a producer, one of my favorite ones is Burstimo, or however they say it. But these are a couple of English folks, a couple of English blokes that I don't know if a girl can be a bloke, but both of them are so helpful in what they do, giving music industry advice. They have great conversations with people in the industry, and they just really talk about interesting things like 5 things you need to know before your next release. Really focusing on breaking artists, how artists can succeed, things like that. Really love what they do. Another one that I find that's good, and this is not someone who only talks to artists, but it really talks to all musicians, and that's Indie Music Academy, trying to get an interview with Indie Music Academy to talk about how people can make music income. But some of these channels are very, very busy, and they are trying to keep all their ducks in a row, and I get that completely. So, but the Indie Music Academy, I love his videos and a lot of great information there. We also have a fella named Damian Keys. And Damian Keys is another guy who talks about the business, the music business, really helping your career as an artist, Spotify growth, social media for musicians and artists, all that kind of stuff. So Damian is right on it. Another guy who is right here in Orlando, and I haven't been able to get in touch with him yet, but somebody that you should look at if you're an artist, and that is Adam Ivy, marketing specialist, producer, really works trying to help artists and artist marketing in a lot of ways, and has classes and all that kind of stuff. Advanced music marketing is really his game. And so if you're interested in music marketing and business, Adam has been around for a very long time. And another guy right here in the A's that I listen to and have read his books, and that is Ari's Take with Ari Herstand. Ari talks to people in the business. He has been at this for a very long time. His book, The New Music Business, has been out for years, and it's been updated many times, and he is always talking with interesting people. Again, mostly on the artist side, although he does sometimes get into things like licensing and things like that, but certainly talks about them. So those are the artist type of sites that I keep an eye on all the time. And I'm seeing some sites that I haven't talked about, and so are you. ISO says Ari's take is dope. And hey, you can't say dope if you're not talking about Clint music, because Clint music is also dope. Um, and he also says Berstimo are awesome. I love them. Yeah, they are fun to watch and very, very straightforward. They're not out for fun here. They're out to bring you information, which I really appreciate. Okay, I got two more categories here, and the first category is composers. Finally getting to the people who are composers. And the first one I could talk about is somebody we've always talked about. Since I'm right here at his page, I will go ahead and mention again Christian Henson. Talks a lot about composing, talks a lot about what it's like to be a composing, does monologues about composing. So if you're interested in that, you definitely need to check it out, his composing site. But as promised, it's time to talk about Guy. Hello, everybody. And, Guy, 315,000 subscribers. He's got to be doing something right. I show off, there's one of his videos I show off here, Music Theory in 16 Minutes. But there's one of his videos that I show, how to play the piano in 10 minutes. I show that to every class that I have. But just really interesting person, interesting guy who sits in his studio in his shed, as he calls it, and really works with a lot of things, teaches a lot of compositional as well as arranging things. And I don't know if there are many people who do that, especially at his level, who because he is also an educator and just does a super job of that. So definitely you want to be watching Guy because he's a hoot and he's just funny, and he just makes me smile sometimes. Another person that I just kind of found, and a lot of you know maybe, is Anne Catherine Dern. Now I don't know much about her, but over the past few months I've found her film composing site. She's a composer for film and TV and video games, and she really gets into some stuff on the composing side, some theory stuff, and she does talk about different hardware, but she also talks about her music and actually I'm pretty sure she's in LA, because she is working right there. Yeah, she's based in Los Angeles, and she is working with the film industry all the time and always working on projects and sharing those. Yeah, here are some of the things that she's been on. The Claus Family, which is, these different things. Honey, I Hope I Shrunk My Friends. I mean, just lots of different movies and things like that. But an interesting take, an interesting accent, and just has some really good information. And let's see who else here. We've talked about Christian. We've talked about some of the other people that I would put in this category are people I've already talked about, like Mary Spender, like Dave Croft, like Stevie B. Oh, and there's one other person who is struggling to get into the composing space, and not sure if you've heard of them, but they're a fledgling little channel you might want to check out and just give a little love to, and that is Hello Composers. That guy looks a little familiar, but I'm actually getting ready to restart this channel. I have been trying for weeks to get this channel restarted, and I came up with another idea yesterday. And so stay on the lookout for Hello Composers. You can just go to hellocomposers.com and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. That would be very helpful as I get ready to roll out the next thing there. So make sure you go to hellocomposers.com right there in the chat, and it'll take you right to right now I don't have a website up, so it'll take you right to the YouTube channel where you subscribe, and that would be very helpful to me as you are hopefully subscribing to some of these other people. And my last category here is YouTube channel people. Now, if you're a person who wants to make YouTube channel, I can't really do a thing about channels that I love to watch and not talk about the people who help me build this YouTube channel and help people build YouTube channels in general. And the first person that I've got to go to. And this actually not even a YouTuber per se. And another person who, the very first person I talked about, Daniel talks about an awful lot, and that is Graham Cochran. If you are someone who wants to make income with what you do and build it into a business, Graham is great to listen to. His first company, I'm not even sure if it's on here, but his first company was a company called Recording Revolution. He comes from the recording business. He knows the struggles that we went through. I don't follow Recording Revolution, but that is another great recording site if you want to look at it. But Graham is just a master motivator and really good at talking about how to to do different things. Got some really good playlists on different things, email lists and using online courses and things like that. But I really believe in what Graham talks about, and I really believe in him as a person. So you should take a look at him. Another person or company that I really love about YouTube building is someone who is in the space all the time, and that is Roberto Blake. Roberto talks about content makers. We're all content makers, folks. So you should be looking at some of these people to know how to make content for sure. And another guy I've really started to like recently is a guy named Nate, and Nate is at Channel Makers. Nate has his own little thing where he says when he opens every video, and he's always saying boop the like button, and but he has a lot of great videos about how to make great YouTube videos. So if you're struggling to build your YouTube channel, absolutely come and see Nate. He is the person you want to see. Let's see here. Yeah, people keep mentioning John Mayer, and I will read some of these here in just a minute as soon as I am done with this, because this is getting super long, and then I will read all the sites people are talking about. Like I said, Channel Makers, Creator Insider, which is from YouTube, and they talk a little bit about what's going on a weekly basis, actually more than a weekly basis. And then my friends at Video Creators, which also just got bought recently by VidEQ. So they are somebody who you can check out for great YouTube help and videos. And then the last one is, oh, that was the last one. So actually, there's one more, and that is, I don't even, yeah, here they are. Social Media Examiner, not exactly a YouTube site, but certainly the place, as far as I'm concerned, with how to grow your social media. And so, if you are looking for the OG and the final words, similar to the way I feel sometimes that Jesse is the OG in sync licensing, I feel like these guys are certainly the OG in social media, and I would highly suggest you watch their stuff. And all of these people probably also have podcasts, and they have different things that you can check out as well. I listen to a lot of their podcasts. All right, as promised, let me go through here and talk about some of the things that our co-hosts here, like Linda and Arco and ISO and Pip Haywood Music and who else? A lot of these are suggesting similar people, Andreas. So I'm going to go up to the top, and yes, Arco, good call on that. I'm going to go ahead and talk about my friend Ed, who could also use your prayers, as I know he is dealing with uh, some things, and so could certainly use your prayer. But here is Ed Hartman's site. Now, I didn't put his site on here only because Ed doesn't do as much updating on this site, but he's got good stuff. Really, where Ed's deals a lot with drums and education, but Ed has had a lot of things placed in movies and TV and film, and certainly has been a help. He's been on this channel before, and has been a help to me from the start. He is one of the first people that took my phone call and answered questions for me and gave me a lot of help, but not necessarily on the channel side, but actually as just someone trying to get into stock, or I should say licensing in general. He helped me very much with that. So yeah, absolutely go check out Ed Hartman. Let's see who else has mentioned something here. I'll try to get to this. Live streams from Daniel James from Soul State. Um, Output, great videos. Yeah. John Sign and Mixbus, produced like a pro. Adam Neely, I've seen this come up, so I'm going to have to look up Adam Neely and see. I think I know who you're talking about, maybe, but maybe this is somebody else I have to follow. I don't know. Let's look at Adam Neely. I don't know much about his channel, but a lot of the people in the chat are really suggesting Adam Neely. So I'll just show his site here real quick. I, again, don't know much about what he does, but a lot of people in the chat are talking about his site, which says exploring what music means and what it means to be a musician. So interesting. Yeah, he got 1 million subscribers, so he must be doing something right. And it seems like he is putting up somewhat. Well, let's see. Looks like he is putting up a very relevant stuff. 13 days ago, 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 1 month ago. You know, my definition of a great site is someone who is posting weekly for sure. I think you have to post weekly. Monthly or bi-monthly or something like that, and I start to lose interest because to me, I don't really feel like if they're not giving us weekly information, it's not very helpful. Let's see who else. Mark Giavoni, Mattia Chiappa, and Christopher Siu, John Mayer, and not the John Mayer you know, but John. Oh, I have someone else I want to show you. John Meyer. Is it Meyer? Again, it's hard for me when I don't know who they are, but I'll show John Mayer or Meyer. It's John Meyer, and looks like this is a nice channel about giving your production music tracks the best shot. He has 9,000 subscribers, and looks like he posts about every week or maybe a couple times a week. So yeah, you might want to check that one out. Let's see who else you guys are talking about. Project Sam. I love Project Sam gear. I didn't know they had a channel. I'll have to go look at that. Let's see. Anyone else that people are talking about? John Mayer is mentioned. John Meyer is mentioned a lot. I'll have to go look at him. Couple others here. I will go look at all of these and see if they are ones I need to look at. But I hope this has been helpful to give you some ideas of some people that I just follow, and I can't really live without. Let me check and see if there's any more. Last chance to put any more channels in here if you have something else. There's a lot that I follow that aren't necessarily music related. They're just interesting to me, so I'm not really going to go there. Oh, here's another interesting guy that I like to watch, and this guy kind of goes in the category of gear and music business stuff, and that is Dr. Mix. A lot of fun to watch Dr. Mix. If you're not watching Dr. Mix, you're missing. The first video you watch of him, you'll be like, this guy, I think he belongs in a mental institution. But then you watch him, and he just has so much fun, and the gear, oh, the Jupiter 8, and playing that. Let's see. Last chance sites here for me to recommend. Jacob Collier, who you may or may not know, but fantastic musician and artist, but has a lot of cool stuff and also does a bunch of live videos. His live videos are amazing, but he also breaks down all his songs and all his Logic sessions. So you need to watch Jacob Collier. Kurt Hugo Snyder, excellent, 13 million subscribers, and does the best covers you will ever see of songs. Really inventive covers and videos. Beautiful, beautiful videos. Let's see who else. Marlon Gibbons, who I've heard mentioned on other things, who talks about a lot of stuff. Marlon has been posting as much as some of the other people. Let's see, who else can I give a shout out to that I watch that I really love? Ryan Reynolds. Um, I think this is somebody I just found recently. I think it's pronounced Seeds, and went to Berkeley, but she has all sorts of cool little logic hints and things like that. Really more of an Instagrammer with a huge Instagram following, but also building a YouTube channel here. So you might check that out. Um, Song Trader every now and then has a video, but they just don't post enough for me to really suggest them. And I think that's about it that I would recommend. So, well, folks, that's about all I have. JMO says, any resources for trailer music? No, I don't have any. So, I don't do a lot of trailer music, but a lot of these people, a lot of these composers I talked about, they talk about trailer things from time to time. So I'm sure a lot of them have some trailer things, but no one dedicated, as far as I know. If anybody knows anybody dedicated to trailer music who's doing YouTube videos, make sure you put it in the comments below. And please, if I've missed anything that you follow, put it in the comments below. And be careful, because sometimes YouTube can think if you're putting a link in there, and it won't let your comment be shown, but at least I will see it, if nothing else. Music for Income, yeah, I do watch that, but yes, doesn't really post enough for me, and so one of the reasons I didn't mention him. Alex Pfeiffer, Dirk Elhart, yeah, there's a lot of channels out there, folks. So thanks for hanging out with me and watching the ones that I like to talk about. And I hope this has been helpful. Ronan, thank you so much for being here as usual. I'm going to end the stream as we are running late today. So thanks everybody for being here. And I hope this has been helpful. And have fun watching the websites and all of these places. Pip Haywood says John Fulford music, some useful things. Andrea says Kevin Kushel. So a lot of names I've not heard before, so I'm going to have to look at it. Make sure you either send them to me in an email if you want me to feature them, or look at them, and I would love to look through them and find more. I always love finding new people to check out, lots of channels to check out. Yeah, absolutely. You're going to have a busy day and a busy night on YouTube. So I hope you have fun. Well, thanks everybody. Gonna say goodbye and end the stream. Have a good time checking out all these channels, and we'll see you next time. All right. I've got like 50 something in my list of channels to watch. So guess I better get watching them. Have a great day, everybody. See you next time. Gonna end the stream. Bye-bye.